So hi, well, the Good Noise Podcast. I'm Shane,
I'm Glory.
and we're here with.
I'm Josh from Glasslands. Oh,
I want
sorry.
to ask them some
That was
questions to say
perfect.
about their
There you
new
go.
album, The Deep. So congrats on that, by the way. How do you feel about the response to it so far?
It's been really awesome. Yeah, it's been a long time since we put out music, and felt really good to get something out. And the response was pretty overwhelming. So appreciate everyone who's checked it out so far.
Hell yeah! Listen through it again today. Still a very good album. Hell yeah!
Thanks so much. Appreciate
Held
it.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, sweet.
So, is there any meaning behind the album title or cover art?
Yeah, so it's kind of like a concept-y album. It's not like a full concept, but it's like follows kind of there's like a hidden story to it, and there's like the character Mr. Creeps, and basically it's the deep kind of represents uh essentially like, I mean, your struggles or whatever and things you've been through, and Mr. Creeps kind of the personification of like the kind of worst parts of yourself, whether that's depression, anxiety, or whatever that might be. So it's kind of what the album's about. So The Deep was like, I went through a lot in the past 3 or 4 years. I mean, everyone has. So it's kind of like, like being in the deep end kind of thing. So yeah, in the album cover, we just kind of wanted this kind of mystery. Like, you don't really know who that guy is or who they are or what they represent, kind of thing. They're just kind of a blur, a kind of like shadowy figure. Kind of represents, it's not, we don't call him Mr. Creeps, but it kind of alludes to that person is. So
Okay,
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
Thanks.
So can you tell us a little bit about your writing process for this album?
Yeah, gosh. So we took like 4 years to write this. Yeah, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
A lot happened in that process. A lot of delays, and then also just personal stuff and things got in the way. But eventually we made it here. But yeah, it was a super long process. So you have a lot of time to think about the songs when you take 4 years.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I wrote the first, like Silent Prey was the first song I wrote for the album. And I started writing it in like, 2017. So like a long time ago. So some of the songs were iterated on like many times. I wrote like 50 choruses for Silent Prey, and same with Mad. And like some songs just like, came out like that. And kind of difference. I write at home a lot, and then sometimes I'll bring like a nearly finished product to the studio, or sometimes, we'll write together, or people will send each other ideas and stuff like that. And other times we'll have not much of an idea when we get there. We kind of have a basis to go off of. One of the songs that kind of was like that kind of we wrote in like a day was Mr. Creeps. Kind of had an idea of something, and then Brandon, he's the drummer in the band, and he misinterpreted one of my lyrics as Mr. Creeps, and I had never said that. But the actual lyric was "the mist it creeps," and that was in Silent Prey. And he's like, "Whoa, what if we had this character?" And then my mind just went and kind of exploded. And then we wrote Mr. Creeps like in a day, and like like Beggar was written pretty fast. And so yeah, it was kind of all over the board, So
Oh,
But
that's
yeah.
awesome. That's
All
awesome.
right.
How did you find yourself like not driving yourself insane with having
Oh, I
all the
did.
songs for four? Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Appreciate
yeah,
the honesty.
It was
Yeah.
extremely tough. I mean, we finished the album almost a year and a half before it was released. It was done. It
Oh,
was
wow.
like
Oh
done,
my God.
because we were reaching the point where we were just going to release it independently, and then COVID happened, and then we signed to Velocity Equal Vision that summer during COVID, and then that didn't become official until like January. Like we didn't announce it, so it was already 2021 at this point, and then there's still no touring happening in 2021. So we're like, well, we kind of got to wait, because we want to like support it with touring and give it the best chance. And so we had to wait a whole another year
Mhm.
to release it. So yeah, no, believe me, it drove us insane having a finished product for that long. We're like, oh my gosh. And then sometimes you get like, I'm still proud of the album and everything. I still like, I don't hate the songs, thankfully.
I haven't played them live very much.
We literally, even on the tour we just did, we only played Bury My Flame was the only new one we played because we had released Mr. Creeps as a single like a couple years ago. So yeah, we still haven't played the other new stuff. We'll be playing it like here in a month or two, but yeah, so it was definitely very hard to sit on those for that long, but thankfully we still like the songs and and already like working on new stuff. So
okay, I was about to say 4 years, that's a full album cycle. That's almost 2 album cycles if you're like a mainstream artist, but like crazy.
Yeah, it was.
You said you still like the songs, which is good, but do you still like kind of feel like your personal connection to them after sitting on them for so long?
Yeah, definitely things are still relevant. And I think if you like read the lyrics or really listen to it and the different moods in the songs, you can kind of, maybe it's just because I wrote them so I know, but you can see the different points in my life, I guess, especially if you know me. There's the highs and lows and like some like really, dark points. So I feel like there's a lot of mixture of it. And so I don't know. I still feel connected to him because it's something I wrote and I went through, and so each one it's kind of like a little history of whatever was going on in my life at the time. So
for sure,
that's good.
Makes sense. So, what song off this album took the longest to write, and which one is your personal favorite?
Mad took the longest to write. I actually wrote it really fast. And it was like 90% there. And then we just couldn't get the chorus to like hit. And we were just like, and then I literally wrote like, 50 or 60 choruses for it. And none of them like were like, I mean, like when you hear the chorus, you're just like, yes. And none of them were that. And it was like, we felt like the rest of the song was really good. And we're like, dude, this could be like a single or be like, like it could be on the radio or it could be like a really like a fan, like we just really liked the song. And we like worked on it for forever until finally we went to the studio because we recorded real drums. So we were re-recording drums for the whole album just because we had the time, because we wanted like real instruments. And Caleb Shoma was there, and he was like hey, let me take a crack at this instantaneously. So he wrote the chorus to Mad, and
what a genius!
I was so mad, but I was also like, dude, that's so good. So
I want to know where Caleb came in, because you just name dropped. Oh yeah, the dude from Beartooth was just hanging out.
Well, he's Brandon, our drummer, used to be in Beartooth. He's the original drummer of Beartooth. And we just know Caleb. The rest of the band's I live in Nashville, but they're all from Columbus. So they've, I've known Caleb for a while, and Brandon's known him like his whole life. So he's just kind of around, and the studio we're at too, he uses sometimes. So yeah, but him and Brandon are good friends. So it was kind of just like, hey, you want me to try? And he was bored at home and not touring, and so
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how that happened. So
I'd also like to talk about the 50 separate choruses that you made for that song. Were those like 50 choruses where they had like completely different lyrics, or was it just like different rhythm wise?
There's both. So there's like, I mean, no one will ever hear those, sadly. It's just like no one will ever know like what it was going to be, because it's totally different vibe than what it is now. And some of it was like rewriting melodies, rewriting like instruments and different drum beats, and I'm then several times of you scrap the whole, because you can only do so much iterating before you just got to scrap something entirely. So then you just like take that out. Like the song had a whole different intro that started with this started with the chorus melody in this weird vocoder sound, which was really cool, but then it didn't translate to the actual chorus, so that's why we were having so much trouble. But so like, I mean, the whole song is restructured and things get moved around, and you just try everything. So
yeah, okay, that's fair.
And did you give us your personal favorite?
Oh, personal favorite. I think if I had to pick, it would be Let Go, because while we were writing, I was just having, and everyone goes through this, but you're just like, oh, I gotta write a banger, I gotta write like all of these, like, anything, everything has to be single, everything has to be good. And I was really sick of it, and really tired of trying to, like, write something catchy or do whatever. And so I sat at home one night, and I like just like I had just listened to the Blade Runner soundtrack. Like Hans Zimmer's like my favorite producer. And so I like turn on my like little synth and like start playing weird stuff. And did I say it was like did I say it was Let Go?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. And it's because like I wrote it, and then I wrote like 3 different bridges, and I was like, I don't know which one of these to keep. And then we just ended up keeping them all, because I was like, these sound like, I mean, it's like a 7-minute song, so and I was like, what if we just kept them all and made the verses super long, and had this super vibey bridge. I was just like this epic build up. And yeah, so I think that's my favorite, because it was kind of just me I don't know, trying to express artistically with no pressure, because I was like, oh, this is just gonna be a deep track, and I don't even care if people like it. I'm gonna like enjoy it. So
fair enough.
So yeah, that was the mentality around it, and it ended up being like my favorite one on the album, just because I don't know, I like long conclusions to albums like that. Like one of my favorite songs is the song Timothy by a band called As Cities Burn, and it's like 12 minutes long. Didn't quite get there. Maybe next album.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So how'd the track list for the album come about? Did you guys write the opener, be the opener, close to be the closer? Did you just shuffle it around, see what fits? What was that process like?
As soon as we wrote Beggar, we were like, that's the opener for sure. So there wasn't like a plan. There was, Jordan wrote that. Jordan's a guitar player. He just wrote that song, like wrote the music for it one day, just sent it to you. He's like, hey, I accidentally wrote a super heavy song. Because like going into the album, we were kind of like not wanting a bunch of breakdowns and all this stuff. And then over the course of like just dealing with our problems in 2020, and like we're just like, gotta get some anger out somehow. So he wrote this. I was like, oh my gosh. And then like so then it was like, oh yeah, this is obviously the opener of the album, just like kicks you right in the face. And then Let Go, like as I was writing it, I was like, this is probably going to be like the closer one. And then as far as like the sequence of the album, it's we spend a lot of time like trying to figure out like what works best in the flow. So you like move things around, and you have to like listen to the album like front to back a bunch of times to like, because like that's something fans don't see as often, or they don't know how much work actually goes into figuring that out. Because like if you're like into albums like I am, then you like to give people an experience, and trying to figure out like what the best, like the highs and lows and energy at the right time, and the soft songs. And so so a lot of thought and rearranging went into that. But for the opener and closer, it was just like we just knew like right away that those were going to be there. So
fair enough. All right,
perfect. So would you be able to tell us where Headspace was at while you were creating this record?
Yeah, I've touched on a little, but it's kind of, it was we all came from old bands that were like successful, and we started this thing, and it just wasn't really happening for us. So we all, at least me personally, I had like I quit my old band, and then like was starting to have like a massive identity crisis, and that's kind of how, like, that's what happened like when the album was starting to be written. And then I went through therapy and all that stuff, and dealt with that. And then a lot of other stuff. And, my sister-in-law passed away, and, had lots of different disappointments, and wasn't in was not in like a healthy place, like the past few years at all. So I don't speak to the other guys, but they were kind of right there too. So yeah, it was like not a great health space. There was some like Beggar, like I'm just like pissed and like we're just like, I'm just gonna scream like the whole time kind of thing. And there's songs like Ghost where it's like a heartbreak and like a like deep sadness or whatever, that and so there's like different kinds, but it was it wasn't like I wasn't in a healthy place for sure. Definitely a much better spot now, thankfully, but yeah, so
well,
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm glad you're doing better now.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
So how do you recommend your fans to listen to this album for the first time? Should they do it in the car with friends, in the dark with headphones on? Is it a workout album, party album? What do you personally recommend?
I like in the dark with headphones for sure. Like sometimes like bands like ours or bands that have some more atmospheric stuff, I'm always into like listening to it late at night or something. But there's like, there's like definite workout songs and, just kind of however people like normally listen to it is probably, there's something for every occasion, I think. So
yeah, for like a listen where you like want to take it all in, it definitely feels like In the Dark with like headphones on, just because the album title is The Deep. Like you just kind of expect be sitting in the dark. Kind of
getting that vibe and that mindset for sure.
So this one should be super, super quick. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe this album for new listeners in 3 words. No more, no less.
Heavy, poppy, sad.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
Perfect. Yeah.
So in that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling or emotion you want your listeners to have while going through the album?
Kind of be open to whatever you're feeling and not be ashamed of it and just accept it for what it is. That's kind of what the takeaway I like people to have from listening to my music. So
all right. Sounds good.
I love that. So what is your favorite memory that you made while creating this album?
Probably we were, who knows how deep into it we were, but we had rented an Airbnb, and Jordan wasn't there yet, so it was Brandon and I, so we rented we were in the city, so we got the scooter limes, and scootered into the city to buy some drinks. And Brandon was standing on like a 24 pack on top of he set it on the scooter and stood on top of it, and we were just scooting downtown back to the Airbnb. So that was a pretty funny memory. I think I have a picture of it somewhere, but
that's great.
That's very impressive.
I thought you were gonna say when the album finally came out or something like that, because usually when we interview a band that had a very long process, they're like, oh my god, when it was done and it finally came out. But I like that memory.
Yeah, standing on top of
drinks. My mind, I was like, that's always stood out. So
yeah, that's amazing.
So picture this: you're on tour, you're at a gas station for a rest stop. What is your snack of choice?
For whatever reason, I get combos the pizza. I get the pepperoni ones, and they're terrible. They're just, but I just have been doing that for I don't know, since I was a kid. So that's still if I get one, that's what's gonna be.
Okay,
solid pick. Yeah. So on the topic of food, if the band was a dish, what dish would the band be?
Sloppy Joes.
Sloppy Joes? Okay,
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because we take forever to do things, and but it's really delicious. So
okay,
maybe it's worth it.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So for the last couple questions, we're going to shift completely away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So if you're on death row, what would your last meal be with a drink?
Combo. No, I'm just kidding.
Combo, sloppy joes.
I don't know. Probably just pizza. Pizza and I guess it's my last meal, so I won't drink water. Pizza and some sort of sugary pop.
Okay.
Like Dr. Pepper or something.
Sounds good.
Right. Oh, what toppings do you have on that pizza?
Pepperoni and banana peppers.
Banana peppers.
Banana peppers are great on pizza.
I've never had that on pizza before.
They are.
It's a whole deal. It's good.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. I'll have to try. I mean, I've had people telling me it's good. So
yeah.
Okay. So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Definitely not the Deep.
No.
Probably I want to say Stranger Things, but I don't want to go there either.
Yeah.
Terrifying. I don't know. I kind of want to see what the 80s is like in Stranger Things.
Okay.
That's perfect. Yeah.
So I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person that we've spoken to have said that it is the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Oh gosh. To wear or to draw with?
Yeah,
to look at.
Mm-hmm. That's the best way to put it.
I like neon green.
Okay.
I like neon green on like a bunch of my shoelaces and clothes and stuff. So.
All right. Sounds good.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Color.
So as I said, that's all the questions we have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Yeah, listen to our new album. We've got a couple tours we're about to announce that we're really excited about, and some new stuff coming out. So yeah, just check us out online and stuff. So.
All right. Well, thank you for now. That's been Josh from Glasslands, and we've been the Good Noise Podcast.